Wait. Hey everyone, it's snack time. I am here with Henry, Graham, and Chris Ingersoll. Graham and Chris are gonna. Yeah. Hey.
Hey, there they are.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Wow.
That's great.
You guys look like a couple of colorful characters.
That's awesome. Yeah.
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 So,
you guys are waving. You guys are waving very vigorously.
Yeah. That's you guys are really into that waving.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay, you guys.
Man.
You guys. You're making us a little nervous now with your waving.
That's great.
Especially since Ingersoll's sword seems to be impaled on Graham's arm slightly.
Yeah. So.
Okay, I'll stop waving.
Graham and Chris are going to be playing some Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate.
Ooh yeah.
Yeah, my experience with Monster Hunter is very little, and I'm sure Henry. I don't know about you, but we're far from experts here.
My sole experience has been reading the articles about the profession through Monster Hunter, but I've always been really excited to watch it because I've heard people when they like it a lot. They sink like hundreds of hours into this thing, so I am super excited to see you guys play.
I don't think Graham's put quite that many hours into it yet, but
No, more like 5.
If you want to,
more than us.
you guys want to, he can pull up my guild card and show you what I put into it.
How do I pull up your guild card?
Do it. Pull it up.
I legitimately don't know how to do that.
Well, that makes sense because you've only played for 5 hours. You're not completely comfortable with all the game's mechanics.
I only know how to do the things
check
Chris has
the
explicitly
info.
told me how.
Check the info tab under your menu. It's the
Okay.
easiest way to find it. And then you want the card list, which will be easy because I'm the only one there.
Okay.
that's some cartoon meat right there.
Yeah.
That is my shakalaka. He's wearing a meat mask,
Oh, okay.
He's pretty good.
which lets me use him as bait every now and then.
Very kind of you.
All right, so
Man.
if he right tab a little bit and you'll get my weapon usage, and you'll see I'm kind of specialized in one thing or another.
I like your glasses, by the way, Chris.
Yeah, I didn't actually have the helmet that went with this armor, so yeah, I use dual blades a little bit. But what I'm using right now is the longsword, which is my second most used thing. That's you see a hunt record here. And if you go, there's my playtime on it too. On the hunt
That's a lot of hours.
record. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So.
I don't think I've ever put that many hours into a single game in my entire life, actually.
I don't think I have either. Unless you count like repeated plays of like Mega Man 2, but I don't even think that gets up to 600.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not a long game.
Okay.
Even yeah.
So, Chris, you want us to show them some hunting?
I am. We're going to start really small. I'm going to actually do a level 2 quest for you here, but we're just going to take on small monsters.
Okay, I'm okay with this.
Yeah, small monsters. We're
That's
not
probably
going
for the best. Graham's
we're not
shield
gonna
looks
go
like
with
a
the big
garbage
guys.
can lid, so I don't think he'll be well prepared for any massive monsters.
Yeah, basically.
Aw, don't worry, Graham. I like the rest of your outfit.
Thanks.
I'm sure that's what you were going for.
I was going for this is all I can afford. So.
Well, that's true
I
too.
heard that's in style. Yeah.
Are you eating again? Okay.
I think the game.
No, you don't
We've
have
only seen like one bit of the city. Looks great so far. Very
This is the only part
colorful
of the
and very
city that's-
crisp, and everything looks really, really cool.
Oh, it is. It's amazing. It looks good on the 3DS too, but on the HD with the Wii U, it looks amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if a Monster Hunter were built for a home system, it would look a lot better.
Yeah.
But
Oh, definitely.
just the art direction is pretty great, considering what they were going for.
Man. Yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever get a Monster Hunter built for a home console again, but
They're-
that's since the
they're-
very first. But
They're like what they're doing with the 3DS right now.
yeah, I mean, and that's what Japan wants. They just want the portable Monster Hunter, so that they're kind of in control of that. Like, if Japan wants portable Monster Hunter, Japan's going to keep getting portable Monster Hunter. So what do you got? You guys are starting small, off to do something simple first.
I believe the actual quest name is Bullfango Brigade. We're going to take down some Bullfango, which are these giant warthog things that are really annoying when you're fighting the big monsters, but in this case, There's going to be some other things too with our Rhinopolos. They're going to look like little tiny dinosaurs. But we got to kill, I think, 15 to 20 of these things, and we're in the arena, so it's not going to be a very impressive environment. That'll come later. So
Excellent.
this is a warm up to get Graham used to his sword and shield a little bit.
Gotta start small.
You
He
really
does.
do. All right. So I've learned you go here, you get lots of help stuff because that's important.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'll need any sort of paintballs or anything for this.
No.
All right.
So you guys are playing this on the Wii U, correct?
Correct.
We are.
Correct. Both of you,
Because-
that is.
Because the 3DS version of 3 Ultimate does not do online.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Mm.
And strangely enough, it would have
MH4U
been harder for us to play locally than online.
MH4U that we're going to get early next year is 3DS online because it's 3DS only.
Excellent. So speaking of the Wii U, Henry,
Yeah. Yes.
you know, you just made a pretty good purchase today.
I am so excited. Today I decided to splurge a bit, and I bought myself a Wii U and a Pro Controller and Nintendo Land, and it came with
Sorry.
What?
Sorry,
What's so funny?
I want you to continue talking, but this sword is ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
Are you Nightmare? Is that what's going on?
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that's
That is amazing. Is that sword, do you think, like 2 times as big as you, or 1.5?
Well, it depends on whether or not it's sheathed.
It does a remarkable disappearing act when it's sheathed.
it's a magic sword.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
I just got a Wii U, and I'm so excited. I don't think I've been this excited for a console for a really long time, but too many good things coming out. Mario
Yeah.
Kart 8, the crossover game that Graham's really excited about. I forget the name right now. The Fire Emblem one.
Yeah. Shouldn't be having a Tensei Crossfire.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. That one. The Xenoblade. I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna get it sooner or later. Might as well get it now. And I am so impressed so far. I'm trying to get it to work with my TV, but it's not. It doesn't seem to recognize my TV for some reason. But that's
Oh.
partly a reason to be disappointed. I'm very, very excited right
Have
now.
you have you played any Nintendo Land or New Super Mario Brothers?
No,
U
no.
or anything like that?
I'm literally I just got it like an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
And I just got home from work and I just started setup before I joined you guys for snack time. So I haven't played anything yet, but the controller looks nice. Really, really, it's sort of bigger than I thought it would be. I hadn't even seen it in like stores or anything. So this is all very, very new. I like that it was just totally simple to turn on and set up, and yeah, good stuff so far.
You want to go
Yeah,
get
I mean-
Monster Hunter in the next like half an hour?
There you go.
No, I've done enough shopping for for quite a long time. So
I kind of feel like
although
Henry-
after this snack time, you never know, it might convince me.
I'm looking forward to something else I can use my Classic Controller Pro with. I mean, I could use it with this, but I like the screen too much.
Will my Wii U work with all my Wii controllers? So like my classics, nunchucks, Wiimotes?
Yes.
Yes, although you may
is
need the
awesome.
Motion Plus if you don't have them.
I
Yeah.
have 3 of
And that's
those.
probably more than you need. But
I think I can't remember
Yeah, I mean,
anymore. I
I
don't know. Who
think
knows?
what Nintendo Land needs the pluses.
for a few
Uh,
things like Metroid, yeah.
Most games don't need the pluses. It doesn't like force it or anything.
What about for the Pro controller? Will that work?
So I mean, the Pro
like,
Controller has limited use. Only Wii U games that support it use the
Yeah.
Pro
Right.
Controller.
Does Nintendo Land use it?
Nintendo
I don't
Land really
think
doesn't.
So no.
Nintendo Land is a tech demo for the gamepad mostly.
Yeah,
That's
basically.
what
yeah.
I've heard.
But yeah, I mean, like I'm pretty sure New Super Mario Brothers U will use it, and you know, did that come with Luigi U as well?
It did, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you got something to play with it, or play using that controller at least.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I want to get one eventually, but like the Pro controller. But I just like I really like the gamepad. Like I haven't had any problems with that, but I think when Smash Brothers eventually comes
Yeah,
out,
I'm thinking Smash Brothers and maybe Kart.
yeah, like those are probably the things that I'll probably pick one up sometime this month just to have one. And
For sure.
but yeah, from what I've used, it's a really nice controller, and it's I mean it's nothing too crazy. It's basically their version of a 360 controller, but it's nice. It works. It gets the job done for the games that use it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I want to explain something real quick in the game in case you guys see something weird happening on the screen. The big monsters are persistent in both of our games, but the small ones are not.
Mhm.
It's like if you see a monster on his screen die for no reason, that's because I killed it on my screen.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
That's
It's because
something
your
it
sword
takes
is so
some
big.
too. Well,
Can
that
kill things. Can kill
Yeah.
things from like screens away.
That's true. It's probably
and
true.
I am cheating
Now,
a
what-
little bit as far as Graham's level. This sword is well above that level. Not very much above that level, but way above where he is.
Right.
But it's not as bad as I could be using.
Graham, have you played with Ingersoll before? Is this the first?
We just played like one quest just to make sure that the setup was going to work for the stream.
Right.
But I'm very, very new at this.
Yeah.
And
You're
you know,
doing
it's
pretty
one of
well
those
so
things
far.
where I'm not going to play as much as he did, or even anywhere close to that. But I just kind of
What?
want to
You're not
understand
gonna-
it, you know?
You're not going to sink 600 plus hours into this game, Graham?
Don't think I am. I don't think I've
Huh.
ever sunk 600 hours into any game ever.
This is
Yeah.
an enhanced edition of the 3DS game, correct?
No, it's the exact same thing as the 3DS game, except
Well,
it's
it's exactly-
online.
With what
The original
That's what I
Monster
mean, yeah.
Hunter
So-
3 was, I mean, that gets complicated.
try that was for
Yeah, for the Wii.
that was for the Wii, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So have they made plans to make like a totally original one for the Wii U?
No,
Nope.
Like
the next
Monster
one-
Hunter, I guess it would be Monster Hunter 4?
Yeah, that one's
that's
3DS
already out in
only.
Japan, and it's
Yeah.
3DS.
Oh, it's 3DS as well. Okay.
Ah,
Very cool. Now, what is happening when you guys are looking like you're about to be teleported to the Enterprise? What's going on there?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
He's talking about all the like, beams
The
of light that are
beams
they're-
of light that are emanating. What do you mean? How do you know?
Oh,
Like it's
um,
like emanating from you guys.
All right, well, because I'm so used to seeing it, I don't see it anymore.
Ah.
What that is my shakalaka probably did an attack up dance, or else the food we ate gave us attack up bonus. If you see
Oh.
little symbols next to our health meters, they're kind of blinking.
Yeah.
We both
I
have
do.
attack up and defense up,
Oh, nice.
so that's kind of represented by the halos there.
So basically, these boars don't stand a chance.
Oh, they're screwed. And there's our last one.
Those pigs had families, you guys. Don't you feel guilty at all?
no, we also killed
delicious,
their family.
delicious bacon.
What's that? Oh, that's true. I do like bacon.
So Henry, I have a Wii U game recommendation for you.
Lay it on me.
All right. Well, I would, this is also on PC, so I don't know. Maybe you prefer to play it on PC, but I really like playing it on Wii U, and it's Little Inferno. It's a game we talked about back when the Wii U launched, and it is such a weird game, but I think it is well worth playing, and nobody really talks about it anymore, sadly. But I think you would like it. I think it's just one of those weird, quirky things you might get into.
Not much
Say
in the
that
gameplay
little-
department, but really fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's very
No.
simple, but it's got a lot going on
That's right.
for it.
Yeah,
What's
cool.
up?
I like game recommendations.
Yes.
I really want to get. I couldn't splurge like crazy, but certainly looking forward to Super Mario 3D World and Pikmin
yeah.
3 for sure.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I'm down for that. It's been a while since I got a next gen console. Probably the last one I got was a 360, and that wasn't exactly way back in the day. That was I think I got it around 2010, 2009. So it had been out for a couple years. So it's been a
you
while
have the-
since I've
did you
I've
have
got
the
a new
P-
console.
Did you have the PS3 first? Then I take it.
I did, yeah. I got my order went Wii, PS3, and then 360. And I enjoy them all. It's funny. I know I see a lot of arguments online about which console is best, but honestly, like for me, it's just a matter of finances. If I had the money, I'd own all the systems right now. I'm sure they're all cool in their own way, and I'll have fun games. The reason I got a Wii U first is one of the reasons is me and my girlfriend are really into playing games together and having friends over, and I've heard it's the best for couch co-op and multiplayer. And Graham's been saying Nintendo Land's really good for that. So that's the main reason why I got this one first.
Also, you have a year plus worth of games to catch up on. Versus
That's exactly right. Yeah.
The newer
And I've been
systems.
meaning to. I've never played a Pikmin game, so I've been meaning to get into Pikmin. And
Pikmin 3 is a good
I'm-
one to start with. Yeah.
I'm a sucker for Mario games, guys. It's just, I know it's crazy, but it turns out they're really good. So
What?
that's, yeah, I know. Yeah, the news is out. The secret has no longer been contained.
Oh man,
Nintendo makes a really good
I should
game.
check some of those out then.
I know.
Yeah.
Now, if I could only get the stupid input TV thing to work. I'm probably never going to use it. I just want to show off to people because it's pretty cool.
Well, it's kind of great if you have a lot of
Oh.
stuff like connected to your TV to change the input when you change over to Wii U.
I do have many things hooked up to my TV. Oh, it's so annoying. It's not working. Oh, well.
Okay, so Chris, you want to tell them what we're doing now?
All right, now we're going to actually take on one of the smaller big monsters. This is a Lagombi, which, if you actually downloaded the demo for this game, is one of the two monsters you fight in it. I don't want to spoil the appearance. I mean, you can kind of tell maybe a little bit if you look at the icon on Graham's thing there real quick. But, yeah, these things aren't really a challenge, but they will be a little bit harder. Plus, we're going to go to the tundra, which is kind of a hostile environment where it's cold. So if you don't have like a hot drink, which Graham is going to get out of the box, and I'm just going to have.
So yeah, I could use a hot drink right now. What kind of hot drink is it?
It just says hot drink. I'm assuming
What?
it's hot chocolate.
They don't specify.
No.
Man, hot chocolate.
I mean, I can.
Although
get
to be
drunk
fair,
I
if you
want
get invited over to somebody's house, like, would you like a hot drink? It doesn't really matter what it is. I mean,
Right.
Okay, guys, what's your favorite hot drink? Let's go around. Andrew, you start.
Hot chocolate, I guess.
Hot
I don't-
chocolate, a
yeah.
classic. Gee,
Yeah.
what do you got for hot drinks?
I'm going to go with caramel apple cider.
Oh,
Wow.
that
Ooh.
sounds delicious.
Pretty good.
Caramel help us out. Yeah. So, all right, Ingersoll, you've come home from a hard day's work, and it's in the winter, and for some reason you're at a log cabin. You're curled up in front of a fire, and what are you gonna have in your hand that you're sipping away?
some spice cider, I think.
Yeah, cider's a good one. I'm gonna go, since my dad's English. I'm gonna go a nice cup of tea
Oh,
with a
yes.
splash
Yeah.
of milk and maybe a little bit of honey if I'm feeling generous to myself.
So you're more of a tea man than a coffee man, I take it?
I actually drink both, but I find I get less like anxious and jittery if I have tea instead of coffee, and I find it still sort of wakes me up. So yeah, I would say I'm a tea man for sure. I could have like 4 or 5 cups of tea in a day. Coffee,
Yeah, I
makes
don't
me a
really,
little on edge. I do enjoy it though.
not a coffee person myself either.
Yeah.
Ooh. This place is cool looking.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is my favorite environment, I think, of the like half a dozen or so that we can get to go to. Normally, Graham needs to drink his hot drink because he's shivering.
Oh,
Graham, got yourself some cider. Man, the environments look great, by the way.
Normally, what we have to do, we have to find the monster first, which can be kind of tough, but I have a skill that lets me find them on my little mini-map that you guys can't see. I guess, no, Graham's got his up. You can see it.
I've heard the thrill in the game is much of the hunt, which is
Yes.
not necessarily just fighting them, but finding them. Or do they get more difficult to find as they get more difficult to fight? Is that the idea?
There's only so many places they can actually be.
Right. So like Shadow of Colossus then, where it's sort of like a puzzle in itself to find them?
No.
No. How similar does this game have any similarities? Because I know this game there's probably a lot less enemies, but are there like smaller enemies along the way, or is it just the specific monsters you hunt?
Well, like the Bullfangos we fought last time, they may show up in some of the caves on the stage, and they're just
Right.
nuisances. And right now, if you see like a little blue dinosaur-looking raptor things, those are baggy, and they like to throw sleeping narcotics at you, which is a nuisance too.
Oh man, you guys just had a hot cup of cider. You're going to be taking a nap real quick.
That's a big bunny thing.
oh.
It sure is.
Right, it's a
Really
bunny
gotta
bear.
not get hit by you.
Yeah, see, that's a problem.
What,
Because I have a
what do
wide
you mean? What do you mean? Can you hit each other?
We can't hit each other, but we can't damage each other.
Oh, I
but
see.
do you like stagger each other if you hit each other?
Sometimes, yeah. And if I were
Yeah.
using like a hammer, and I use like my up golf swing, I can send Graham flying.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Whoa.
which is annoying, but at least it's better to be hit by your partner than be hit by the monster
Oh.
generally.
Well, it's still better than doing damage. That would be terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got these wide sweeping
Run
swings
away.
that can kind of trip up the partner.
So another noteworthy Nintendo thing that happened this week, besides Henry getting a Wii U, is this.
But believe me, Nintendo celebrates anytime anybody picks up a Wii U.
Probably. This past Monday was the 25th anniversary of the original Game Boy.
So
Yeah.
it's 25 years of Nintendo dominating the handheld market.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
Well,
I know.
I don't know. Game & Watch was pretty good, so
Yeah, Game Watch. Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't concurrent. Like, it didn't go from Game & Watch into the Game Boy. There was a gap there, right?
they released Game & Watches after the Game Boy. I mean, they slowed down for a while, but like they had those
So-
like dual screen Zeldas and stuff like that were like
yeah.
88, 89, 90.
I forgot about those actually.
So-
Yeah.
So does everyone
Okay, so
have?
it may not have been the first, but certainly what many would consider the grandfather of all handhelds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So does everyone have like particular favorite Game Boy games? Like just right off the top of your head, what would you say your favorite Game Boy game is? I'll start with you, Henry.
Oh man,
Original Game Boy.
I mean the first. That's a tough call. I would have to say, I mean, the first one I got with it, like on Christmas morning, I think was probably Tetris.
Well, that came
yeah.
with it, yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's hard to go wrong with that.
in terms of all-time favorite, I'm probably going to say Metroid 2: Return of Samus, but I mean, that's a tough call over that with Kirby's Dream Land and Link's Awakening and
Right.
Pokemon. But I'll go Metroid 2: Return of Samus. I remember playing it as a kid, and it was way too tough. I totally didn't understand the whole
Did you?
Metroid style. So
So I
didn't
take it
beat
you
it.
never played the original.
No, I mean I'd see my friend play a little bit of it on his Nintendo, but not much. And so when I finally got my own copy of it, my own version of Metroid, I was totally overwhelmed. And it was funny. I remember picking it up again as an adult and being like, I think it was on some I forget, it was on a different system, like maybe Game Boy Advance or I forget. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be really hard. And I beat it in like 5 hours, just like, wow, that was, I guess I was dumb when I was 7 years old. But no, just the music atmosphere, the whole concept. I mean, you had a Metroid counter in the bottom right-hand corner, so your goal was to just basically go out and hunt Metroids, and they kept
Exterminate
evolving.
the species.
That's exactly right. And it was a pretty big game for a Game Boy game. So I would say that's probably my favorite.
I've actually, you know what? I've played every Metroid game except that one.
Is that right?
Yeah,
That-
I should.
me
I know
too.
it's on 3DS Virtual Console. I've been meaning to check it out, but just haven't.
Nice.
Well, actually, I haven't played Zero Mission either, but that's half of a game that I
Well,
That's-
yeah,
Isn't that the first game?
that's just basically the
It
first
is.
game. But it's a
Plus-
great version of the 1st
I've-
game, though. I like it.
I've
I like
played-
it.
This game is basically unplayable.
Was there a Metroid pinball or something?
Yeah, that
Yes,
was on.
yes.
Yeah, that
Does
was
that
okay.
count? If I haven't played that, can I say I've played every
No, it
Metroid
doesn't.
game?
That's
Yeah.
basically a rehash of the Prime plot anyway, so.
And then I never beat Hunters because I found it really hurt my
Oh,
hand to play that game.
Yeah, Hunters.
I don't consider that a
Like
game.
my
That's not
hand
a
would cramped
game.
up playing that game.
Hunters is a mess. I was kind of excited for that game, but didn't turn out too good, unfortunately.
Anyway, that's enough of me. Let's move on.
All right, yeah. So Graham,
Graham.
what is your favorite Game Boy game?
I'm not sure I can do that.
Okay, well, I mean, can you
All right,
give
moving
us
on.
a few? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just one of those things where like the Game Boy is just like such a defining system for me
hmm
that like I don't know. I mean, basically my childhood was defined by what Game Boy game I was playing at the time. Like I started out, whatever. I was like 3 when my brother got a Game Boy, and it was his birthday, and he handed it to me while he ate food, and I think I may have given it back a couple of times.
Yeah.
That was the last he saw of it.
But yeah,
Now, if you
so-
see here, just, I guess I have to wait for the stream to catch up, but the Lagombi's limping away. That means he's hurt and able to be captured, which I'm not going to bother with right now, but we may do it when we fight some of the tougher things.
Sorry, was trying to get a shot in there. But I mean, so I started playing F1 Race,
Mhm.
which was like, I don't know, I liked that game a lot, and then dug into Tetris, and then kind of just played a lot of Tetris. But I think the game I probably played a lot that not everyone played was Kirby's Star Stacker.
I never played that one.
I've never even heard of that one. And why does that not surprise me?
So it's a falling block puzzle game. It came out of the Game Boy here. There was a Super Famicom version in Japan, which actually got released on the Japanese Wii U Virtual Console. So I have it there. But it's it's a different thing than like Puyo or Dr. Mario. It's about like matching two things up, but getting rid of stars in between. I don't know. It's an interesting game. You guys should check it out.
I will track that one down. Yeah. I'm actually I love the Kirby series, and I especially love the Kirby games that aren't like traditional Kirby games. So that sounds like something that might be up my alley.
Yeah, you should check it out. And I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get into like Game Boy Color stuff or.
I mean, we could if you really want to. I was just thinking the original, but if you want to talk about the Game Boy Color, go right ahead.
I mean, but we'll stick to the original. There's too much to it.
There's a lot there.
Yeah,
Oh, did I miss
it's like
it?
sliding around like crazy.
Okay.
So how are you guys doing on this fight? By the way.
Yeah, it's just about done.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Yeah,
We're standing.
I lost
Remember
you
my-
for a second.
I remember my parents really liked liking the Game Boy because the battery life was so good on that thing. And I remember, I think one of my other friends had a Game Gear at the time,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
that took 6 batteries instead of 4, and that maybe lasted, I don't know, a couple of hours. It seemed like 3, 4.
Yeah, the Game Boy took a lot of crap for its puke green dot matrix screen, but that thing's conserved some batteries.
Did it actually at the time though? I feel like everyone was like, "Yeah, this is pretty much the best we can do. Like, we're okay with this." Until I guess Game Gear came out, and then like
as far as for the 4 AA's, it held on to them pretty well for a
a
pretty
long
long
time. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember the games being
but I
like
mean-
really fairly priced, and
For
Yeah,
historical
just a great
significance,
system.
Henry, though, you should remember that the Lynx existed.
oh, that's right.
It was designed in '86, and it didn't get released until I think '88 or '89.
I'd forgotten about the links.
But it was more powerful.
Sure.
And, I mean, it had like 2-hour battery life too, but full color screen, faster processor. Like it was better than the Game Gear. And
Right.
it came out before the Game Boy, so it's just something.
And how did it end up doing?
Not great.
Not great.
As it turns out, it needed any games at all. So
Games for
I
a
know.
game console?
We've got a Graham question for the chat or from the chat for you. Was Kirby Star Stacker the predecessor to Kirby's Avalanche? Which
no,
yes, I
Kirby's
think.
Avalanche is just a reskin of Puyo Puyo,
Oh, okay.
which is great, but it's a different game.
Different. Okay. All right. So Ingersoll, how about you?
Well, in addition to the ones that Henry mostly mentioned, I'm going to go with the one that I championed in our best to own now thing, and that will be Revenge of the Gator.
Oh yeah, I forgot you. Yeah,
Which
that's
is
right.
available on the 3DS Virtual Console.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and speaking of which, that game has a sequel that is a Kirby game. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Also
Kirby's
available
Pinball
on
Land is by the same people and basically like a sequel to that game.
Ooh.
So.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Excellent.
I have way too many pinball games on my 3DS right now.
So I guess I didn't. So I never owned the original Game Boy. I didn't have a Game Boy until the Color came out, which was almost 9 years later. That was '98, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I had a lot of catching up to do, but by that point there was a lot of stuff that I wanted to play. I think when did Link's Awakening DX come out? The Color
I
Game Boy
think it was
Color
a launch with the Color. I think
Was it? All right,
Yeah.
yeah, that explains. Cause I got that right around launch, along with Pokemon Blue, and those were pretty much my go-tos for the longest time. But then I picked up a little game. I never knew that existed, but Final Fantasy Legends 2 on the Game Boy, which is
Oh,
technically a saga game, but
That's right.
Wait,
at least
was it Legend 2 that was a Saga game?
all three of them
Or
were saga
Adventure?
games. Adventure was different. I don't remember what was
Adventure
it?
was the action version. Legend was the traditional turn-based menu fighting.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure those games were originally saga games in Japan. I might be.
Adventure was a mana game.
Yes, that's
I
right.
keep
Yeah,
getting those two confused.
yeah.
That's right.
So that's that. I played Legend. I didn't play 1. I did play 3 eventually, but 2, for whatever reason, that game was one of the games I put the most hours into on the Game Boy. Mostly because it was besides Pokemon, was one of the few really great RPGs on the system, and there was a lot to it, and I just that along with FF4 kind of solidified my love for that series. Even if Legends 2 was kind of different, it was still traditional turn-based RPG. So that was really good. I kind of want those games to be re-released in some form, but who knows if that'll ever happen. I know they did a remake of one of, I think the first one on DS or 3DS that came out in Japan. Or maybe it was the second, maybe it was the third, I don't know.
Yeah,
it was one of
they've
them.
remade Saga a lot. They remade
Yeah.
it. They remade them on DS, all 3.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
remade at least the first 2 on WonderSwan.
Yeah, that's right.
They remade Adventure / Sword of Mana on the GBA.
Mhm. Yep, I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah, so I just think it's kind of sad that the Saga series hasn't really gotten much love here. Besides Saga Frontier 1 and 2, Romancing Saga on the PS2, and then Unlimited Saga, which we don't need to talk about at all.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Romancing Saga, the remake for Romancing Saga, actually came out after Unlimited Saga, which was the problem. Because
yeah.
PS2 Romancing Saga was actually kind of good, and Unlimited
Yeah.
Saga is maybe one of the least playable games Square has ever made.
Yeah. So that's a shame. I mean, I played the Romancing Saga games on the like Super Famicom versions. Those are fantastic games, and again, lots of games in that series I'd love to see come over here officially, or at least with the Legends games re-released in some form. But who knows if that'll ever happen? But yeah, that's my experience. Like I'm not a huge handheld guy, as you guys might know, but I did grow up with at least one Game Boy. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Our next quest here is we're going to the flooded forest to take on a royal Lurdoth. We may see some smaller Lurdoth along the way. They're the little yellow-looking lizard things, but you will know the royal one when we see it.
Does it have a crown?
Kind of. It's got a mane. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm as clueless as you guys are, but I'm definitely trying to follow Chris. He's faster than me.
Well, this might be your first underwater encounter, which may sour you on the whole game. But one of the single-player quests is underwater. Oh, is that the one where you're gathering the stuff and then like your eye catcher comes out and scares the crap out of you?
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't know this game. I didn't know Monster Hunter got underwater.
Yep, that'll do it.
3 is the only one so far that has, and 4 will not. So.
I take it. Are they not very popular? I take it. People don't like them.
They're very, very mixed. But 4 is concentrating more on they're doing some elevation things where you can jump and like actually climb on the monster and attack them with your little hunting knife.
Now that's Shadow of the
really
Colossus
looking forward to
style.
giving that. Yeah, I was going to mention that when he brought up Shadow of the Colossus earlier. Oh, Shacha put down a trap. That was nice of him.
Speaking of trap,
Oh,
hey, you like my segue while I'm slashing this thing that I'm probably not capable of beating?
Sure do.
So minutes before the stream, it was officially announced that the new Skylanders game is going to be Skylanders Trap Team,
yes, that's right.
where you trap the bad guys in a little figure thing, and then you can play as them.
Ooh,
Thoughts?
Yeah,
it's like a Pokemon Coliseum Skylanders.
that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wish Rasco was here.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
he's
the
I think
Skylanders guy.
I forget if it's 50 or 60 new Skylanders in addition to this figure you're going to have to buy, and all these extra versions of the old Skylanders.
Don't you need a new portal too for this one? I think you do.
I think you do, yeah, because of the trap thing. So,
Yeah.
great.
I mean, those games will continue to sell. What was actually weird about the announcement is that they said that not only is Toys for Bob working on it, but also Beanox, which they're the guys that do all the Spider-Man games.
Beanox did the Wii port of the last game.
Oh yeah, okay, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah,
So okay, that explains it then.
yeah, they're doing the down port
Okay,
as usual.
is that coming out? What do we? I must. I didn't get a chance to glance at the rest of the information about it. But is that just like next gen or rather current gen and last gen systems? Like
all of the gens, yeah.
all of the gens? Does that include
PS4,
Wii?
Xbox One, 360, PS3, Wii U, Wii? Yeah.
Wow, Wii. All right, there's another Wii game coming out.
Well, I mean that game sold crazy well. Oh, I'm dead.
No.
Oh no.
It's okay.
It's all right.
I think I
We
just have
get
to
3
run
of them
back.
total.
Ingersoll, why didn't you save him?
I wasn't paying attention.
He was distracted by
Engrossed in the
Skylanders
conversation.
talk.
I'm trying to get this thing's tail off. Is my problem.
Well,
You know,
fair
It's
enough.
not standing still.
Let's be clear.
Priorities.
Chris's job is to win. It's my job to stand around and get a few rewards while I'm there.
He's
get to soak
basically
up a
my
lot of
cameraman.
So, I mean, did you play the last Skylanders, Graham?
Yeah, I reviewed it for the site.
Yeah, that's right. Couldn't remember that.
Yeah.
So are you interested in the new one? Are you do you consider yourself a fan, Skylanders fan?
I like the concept. I'm a fan of the formula.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Skylanders had come out and then Swap Force and Giants had never existed, then I would be on board with the series.
So this is yet another example of a yearly franchise that is kind of getting a little stagnant now.
I mean, it
because
is
of
what
that.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the trap thing isn't enough to like
I just
excite
don't
you.
see it being compelling from like a figure perspective. Like,
Yeah, because
like the Swap Force thing was kind of cool because it kept things fresh without necessarily having to buy all of the figures.
yeah, exactly.
But this time, I don't know. I mean, there is the idea of getting the trap, and then you can trap different bosses in it, and you can play as different bosses without buying different figures. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
This may be a year I take a break.
While Graham was riding the Phaline cart there, I broke this thing's mane. You can see now it's all kind of cut up and messed up.
Good job.
Yeah.
Still working on this tail, though.
But this may be the year I take a break and play Disney Infinity.
Oh yeah, so they actually had a recent announcement too, right? They
announced that they are going to announce next week that there will be Marvel.
That's right. I forgot about that. An announcement for an announcement. So that is officially being unveiled next week sometime.
That's
What was that? The
30th, supposedly.
30th? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that going to be? Is that? I guess we don't really know, but is that going to be just an update for Disney Infinity, or is that going to be a whole new game, or both?
I mean, from what I can tell, it's going to keep the toy box. It's going to have compatibility for a lot more stuff in the toy box, and then it's going to be able to, like, I assume the disc will have all of the 1.0 stuff and the 2.0 stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's just to allow them to release more adventure sets than they had on the disc to begin with.
Yeah.
They can't really like rely on DLC with figures because then you buy the figures, but then if you don't have an internet connection, it doesn't actually do anything. So, yeah.
Man, that thing's not looking too good. Oh, you cut the tail off.
I did.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't
Which
know
Graham
if I
can go
helped,
carve.
but I'm
There's a
trying.
chance, but
So what? Yeah, I take it you get something special from cutting the tail off.
there are certain carves you can only get from the tail, and also he sometimes tries to whip you with his tail, and obviously that has a much shorter range. And if he's underwater, he'd have like less current when he swims back and forth. But he didn't stay underwater very long. He was underwater very briefly while Graham was running back to the fight.
Doesn't even honestly doesn't look like, I don't know if you're even damaging it, Graham. I can't tell.
I can't tell either. So
it looks like your sword is just kind of like bouncing off of the armor or whatever.
yeah, that's what I'm going to sharpen.
It'll do that
it
if
and
it's
see
not
what I
sharp
got.
enough.
Okay.
So Henry, are you at all interested in checking out Skylanders, Disney Infinity, any of these toy-based games?
No, I mean, I think it's really cool what they're doing, and I mean, anything Disney right now is worth taking a look at. They're just, I mean, they're absolutely on fire. Probably the biggest entertainment giant on the planet. They have been for a long time, but I mean, everything they're doing is just killing it. Every acquisition they're doing is going well. But no, I think I don't see myself getting into that, but I certainly am not repulsed by it by any means. I think it's a really cool concept.
There was about a week when Disney Infinity came out that I was thinking about picking up the starter pack and just and seeing where that went. But I like with any new fancy like game that a lot of people are talking about or just about anything. If you wait a week, then I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, I have something else to do now, so I don't have to. I'm not tempted anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to get it when it went on sale and got really cheap, like I did with actually both of the first Skylanders games. But it never really happened.
No?
It's still like, here, get this figure. It's $15. Like, I don't know about that.
So is that? I don't really know how well. I assume. I mean, I know Disney Infinity did pretty well for them, but did it do Skylanders well? Like, is it? Yes.
I believe it outsold the first Skylanders. I mean,
Excellent.
yeah.
That's good. I'm glad. I'm just glad they have competition now.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think Skylanders would have done it if it wasn't, getting tired for people.
Yeah.
Now, underwater levels are usually the bane of everybody's existences. Graham, how are you finding this one so far? It doesn't look too painful.
I actually don't mind them so much, but then again, I wasn't good at any of the levels, so...
It's actually very weapon dependent. Certain weapons just have very much difficulty underwater because they lose like a lot of their mobility and their evasiveness. Like if I were using my dual swords, I wouldn't even notice because it's one in each hand. So basically, while I'm swimming, I'm also attacking.
Wow.
So I have no problem with the.
Seems like a good deal.
But this longsword is a different beast underwater. I promise you.
Yeah, my favorite part of this game is not running across the map, finding the thing.
Yeah, he took like the longest possible. You took the quicker road than I did because I forgot where I was. But I'll be there in a minute.
But when they sleep, they recover. So, right?
A little bit, yeah. Not enough to
Man.
usually make a difference.
Wow.
But also when they're asleep, they take double damage from the first one that hits them.
Yeah.
Which
Well, the person who's hitting him is me, so...
I mean, it's not like we're sleep bombing. There's a tactic for like a lot of the very tougher guys, like the big Tyrannosaurus-looking angry thing that shoots laser beams. Like you put him to sleep and then you drop like a bunch of giant bombs on his head and wake him up that way. He tends to be angry after that for some reason.
I mean, I wouldn't be very happy if someone dropped giant bombs on my head while I was sleeping. I still probably wouldn't be alive anymore, but, you know, I wouldn't be happy either.
Yep.
So some crazy news came out of...
We did it!
We did it! You guys did it. I didn't do it.
Chris kind of did it. I was here.
So, Marty O'Donnell was let go terminated from Bungie last week, which to me I'm still trying to like. I don't get it. Why? I mean that like I feel like there's been a lot of huge departures from game studios. Like there's been like a lot of people have left from Naughty Dog just even over the past week or so. Probably just people moving on from the studio that's going to make another Uncharted game, but which kind of makes sense. But I'm just we don't have many details, but I'm just like very confused why they would terminate Marty O'Donnell. I mean, dude has made some of the best, most memorable game soundtracks, games like pieces of music for any game over in the history of the medium, really. And like I don't know, I feel like I mean I don't know what this means for Destiny, but like maybe his work there with that game is done, or at least mostly done, so maybe that's not a problem, but it seems weird that they would let him go like that. What do you guys think? Any thoughts?
I mean, I just don't know the situation.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to comment, and it hasn't been entirely clear. I mean, you know, we know what O'Donnell said and we know what Bungie said, but there's no real way to tell what's actually going on.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, maybe his work with Destiny was just finished, and I don't know, maybe he butted heads with some of the higher ups, and I don't know. That's all I can think of.
It is strange. I mean, you're used to seeing like loads of. I mean, it always sucks, right? But you see like loads of developers or programmers get laid off or artists. But usually when you have a high-profile name, especially musicians, sort of are in their own category. I mean, It would certainly be strange if back in the day, like Square Enix let. I'm not saying it's the same thing, but like Square Enix let Uematsu go. Like it seems really, really off-putting. It'd be like sort of Hans Zimmer getting fired from a movie. Like it just doesn't happen. So I am assuming there's some combination of maybe he's leaving for greener pastures, or maybe I have no idea. But yeah, certainly an odd one.
Yeah, I mean, their in-house composers, I feel like, are becoming kind of rare these days. Anyway, like
right.
besides those big studios like like Square and like Nintendo and whatnot, they kind of have their go-tos, but usually especially for a lot of smaller games, they hire like contractors like freelance composers and whatnot, and I feel like that's maybe they wanted to bring on someone else to work with Marty, or maybe they just wanted to try something new, but yeah. I think it would be even crazy. It would be even crazier if Marty actually went to work with 343 on the next Halo game or something like that, which would be probably a good thing for that series. Since I feel like a lot of people were disappointed with Halo 4. Maybe they need to bring back something familiar, but it's hard to say.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have particularly strong feelings about that, just because we really probably won't ever know what.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's just
The man makes a mean tune.
Yeah, definitely. It's just strange that it's. I'm just still just trying to get over it. Like I don't.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't keep up with the sort of laundry list of executives that have been switching around. So I don't know if that's just sort of a coincidence, or maybe it's a sort of a tumultuous time for the big developers, or what. But yeah,
Mix of both, perhaps. I mean, like I said, with Naughty Dog, for example, like they've lost a fair few people, and it could just be what they're working on isn't what those people want to work on. They want to work on either smaller projects or something like what Amy Hennig is going to be doing with EA now. She's working with Visceral on the next, or at least their first big Star Wars game, or one of their first big Star Wars games. So, it's still in that AAA space, but it's possibly pretty different from what she was doing before at Naughty Dog with the Uncharted games. So,
right. And it seems like maybe her work with the next Uncharted was done.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it seems like kind of the entire creative team from Uncharted 4 is just kind of heading off.
Yeah, that and a couple of people who worked on the Last of Us, like the lead art director, Nate Wells, he left to go join the team that made Unfinished Swan, who I'm blanking on the developer's name right now, but to work on whatever their next project is, which I am very curious to see what it turns out to be, because Unfinished Swan was a fantastic game, and they could I think having someone with like a lead artist like Nate working on something on their next project, which Unfinished Swan was already such a gorgeous game, so I can't imagine what kind of work he's going to do over there. But yeah, lots of strange movements from big company to big company, or just people leaving to work on just different stuff in general lately. And I don't know. I don't know if that just means that kind of the developers they've been with for however long they've been with them are just working on things they're not interested in anymore, or they just think it's time for a change. Either way, I think it's both kind of. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think this is all potentially really good news, because that means new people taking the place of the old people at those studios like Naughty Dog, and also those people that we recognize from those big games working on something new and possibly making it even better. So spread the talent around.
Ah.
All right, guys. What we're going up here is something called the Baroth, and it is one of the first tough monsters you will have to deal with in this game.
Thanks for the warning.
In addition to being one of the first ones,
the other ones weren't tough.
Well, this one's got a roar that will stagger you if you don't have like the earplug armor skill, and neither one of us do. So if you see Graham flinch for no reason, it's because the thing roared.
That sounds like it'll be fun.
It also is covered in mud, and it likes to shake that off. And if it gets on you, you will be temporarily encased in mud. It makes you kind of a little helpless.
Whoa, that thing is...
Andy, yeah, it's like a dinosaur cross.
It's a dinosaur, yeah. Mud dinosaur.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's rolling around. Isn't that cute?
It's not that cute.
No, I would say that's pretty much horrifying.
Man.
Where is the enemy's life bar? Is it that yellow one or the green one?
No, that's Graham's stamina bar, and the green one in his life bar. The enemy's life bar is not visible.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's the idea behind like the hunting, where like you see it start to limp. That's like an indication to the player that you're almost
Or like
done.
this one especially may just sit there and kind of drool for a little bit once you get him real tired.
Oh, Graham's encased in mud.
Yeah, just jam on the A button, and if my Chacha doesn't free you doing that well, or the next thing you'll get hit, you break out
I
of it
picked
too.
some
That's
cleanser
the
up
least.
out of the box.
Oh, that'll work too.
Yeah, it will.
So, would this kind of monster like show up again, or is this just one and done?
Oh no, and I mean, in addition to the fact that you're gonna have to fight them repeatedly if you want like to make stuff from them, because you're not gonna get enough from one thing. There's the low rank, high rank, and G rank. Basically, how tough they're gonna come, and you'll fight basically everything. And there's some things that are only available at higher ranks. Like we're not gonna see a Nargacuga today because Graham can't even see one right now. But in addition to seeing this guy again, sometimes with other monsters, sometimes it's like you have to fight two of these things, whatever. There's also subspecies. So like
like we were in the tundra earlier, there's a Baroth that lives in the tundra. That's the Jade Baroth. It's not just a palette swap because it's got some other attacks and it'll like put you in snow instead of put you in mud. But yeah, that keeps things pretty interesting, and you get different stuff from them than you get from this one. Ooh, wow. Don't worry.
Graham, I have to ask. Are you having fun?
I'm having more fun than I was playing the tutorial levels by myself.
Okay.
Yeah, those are a test. I swear they are.
Also,
Like,
I've
you
gotten
just-
some pretty good tips. So,
Good.
you know, like, hey, you're about to need this item. Pick up this item, and then that's
Yep,
helpful.
that's important. Yeah, at the low level, they'll give you like the items you need, like the cleanser or like the antidote if you're up against something that poisons. We're not going up against a Giganux, so I don't want to subject you to that right now. But if we do a Raytheon before we're out of here, then you might get poisoned by that. I think we'll do that one next, actually, if we have time.
Okay,
Do not be hit by that charge.
I'm trying.
I could have told you that.
But yeah. So, Andrew, have you
Hey
been
there.
playing any games lately?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
have actually. Yeah, I have been playing. What have I been playing? I'm blanking on it now.
But it couldn't have been that good.
Well, I've been kind of just dipping my toe into some, like, there really hasn't been. Refresh my memory. Did we talk about Trials Fusion yet? We haven't, have we?
We have
I
not.
don't think we have.
No. Okay. So that's the new thing I've been playing. I was trying to think if we actually talked about that yet or not. But yeah, that Trials Fusion it's the third game in the series. Well, technically the fifth game in the series, but the third one that's been on consoles. And it is my first like real serious experience with the series. Like I dabbled in HD and Evolution on 360 a little bit, and both were fun, but I never played enough to get actually kind of good at them. And so it was kind of weird coming to Fusion and just as a relative newcomer to the series and finding out that it's actually pretty welcoming for newcomers. So that like it was a really good first impression because they have these impressive tutorial levels that kind of teach you the basics, and although they won't make you an expert at the game, they will give you enough of a head start when you get to the harder levels that you won't feel like hopeless like I felt like I did during when I played some of Trials HD. Like once Trials HD got really tough, I was just putting down the controller and I was done with that. But with Fusion, like the specific levels, they never got. They were challenging, but never ridiculously tough. And even when they were, I felt like I was learning enough from each failure that I was able to keep going and actually make progress eventually. So I feel like, again, it's probably the most newcomer-friendly game in the series. And also, it's just, like, Trials is just fun. It's addictive, and it's challenging, but it's not, again, I never felt too frustrated with any of especially the hard stuff. Like, I never felt like it was demanding too much of me, even as someone who, didn't have a ton of experience with the games before. And the trick system they introduce is weird in that it's kind of, it's hard to explain, but basically the way Trials works is when you're riding the bike, you can lean forward and back to kind of balance and get momentum depending on the obstacles you're going over. So with the trick system when you're flying in the air, you also use the right analog stick to maneuver your rider in such a way that he's able to perform specific tricks based on the positioning of the analog stick and also the position of the bike. And at first it seems kind of simple because it's like you're just doing these basic tricks and it's not too bad. But once you get to the point where you actually are asked to perform specific tricks, like there are events that where the whole goal is to, here's the name of a trick, do it. And I found those things like incredibly frustrating because actually getting the specific trick down is really tough because of the way you need to position both the bike and the rider. And sometimes he'll like flail around like a rag doll and won't actually move where you want him to. So it's weird. It's a very strange system.
I'm surprised you say that like Trials Fusion is much harder. Like you didn't find Trials because I thought Trials was considered a very difficult game.
Well, I mean, again, I Evolution was the one I just barely touched. I played a little of HD with a friend. I played enough to get to the super tough stuff, and kind of was done because I was like, I don't know, I don't like. I like the mechanics, but I don't like it enough to kind of overcome this frustration. So with Fusion, it was it was tough. Don't get me wrong. There was definitely, once you get to those later levels, especially the expert levels, which I haven't even finished all of yet because they're just so ridiculous. But they will take a long time to get through, and especially if you want to go for the medals. So it's still tough. But like I don't know. I mean, I never felt it was too frustrating. Like I felt like, again, like every time I made a mistake, I was able to just like change my positioning of the bike or change my positioning of the rider on the bike just enough that like, oh, okay, I'm actually making progress on this one obstacle that I keep, banging my head against because I feel like I'm doing it right, but I'm actually not. So like the mechanics seem very simple at first, but once you kind of understand the subtleties, you'll be able to kind of get over those tough stages. So I don't know. I mean, I think of all the Trials games that I've played, that one seems to be the most newcomer friendly. I mean, I'm sure Evolution is really good too. I never got far enough in that one, but it's definitely a step up above HD. Also, Graham is having fun over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In case you guys missed that, I trapped that one because I wanted to.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Put him in a big hole and then threw a couple of tranquilizers at him, and he went right to sleep.
Oh, that's. Now do you have a? It'd be great if you could keep it as a pet, right?
My theory is they unleash the ones in the arena.
Oh, okay. What? So, Henry, you've played? You said you played some Trials before.
No, I mean, like, very, very little. I remember, I think, seeing, like, a Rage video on, like, Trials, and I'm like, oh, how hard could this be? And it is so difficult because, like, I've rarely seen a game where, like, the tiniest, like, most sensitive pressure on any of the buttons can affect the game enormously. So, in a way, it's cool, but it's funny because you think, like, as you get, through the levels, you think you're getting better because you know what to do. But it's really not even that. It's more you need to know exactly what to do and how to do it and have like perfect timing to combine those two. Yeah. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. So I found it very challenging.
I mean, I think Fusion, like the tutorials, especially the late game tutorials, kind of introduced some of the stuff like being able to do like hops and stuff and how to like climb super steep ramps without just toppling over. I think those are like. Those kind of basic lessons to anyone who's kind of a veteran of the series. But if you're a relative newcomer, that stuff is very valuable and actually really. I mean, again, didn't make me an immediate expert, but was able to kind of get me to better understand what I'm doing wrong with each kind of obstacle I was having trouble with in the later courses. So I mean,
right.
I won't lie. I did get a little frustrated from time to time, but it never was like I need to turn this game off and walk away. It was more I need to just like pause it, take a deep breath, and then understand what I'm doing wrong, and then
like get up that hill. Get up that hill.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely those obstacles in some of the later tracks where you're just like coming at it again and again, and you feel like you get so close, and then your bike just topples over, or
right.
It takes a little patience, but I feel like. It builds it up enough that once you get to those stages, you won't be as frustrated as I was when I was playing HD way back when. So I feel like that they've done a better job with that, and all the creative, like the course creators and stuff, excellent. Like you can create a pretty basic course in little time at all without much help. It's very simple, and I was able to mess around with it in like a half hour and create a couple of really kind of simple but effective courses, and I've tried some of the high rated ones, and they're more devious than anything in the main game, but they're really cool. Like the kind of like the little things, like there are little obstacles you won't think will be a problem, but you try to go over them, and then your bike will just topple over, and you'll be like, I don't understand what happened, but I need to figure out how to overcome this tiny thing I once thought was just a little platform or something that seems so simple in the single player stuff. So I don't know. I like it a lot. I think it's. I mean, it's more Trials, and if you've played the other games before, you'll probably feel like, oh, this is just more of the same, which kind of is. But I feel like above any of the others, this is the most newcomer friendly, and also I really like the way they design the stages this time. They're more futuristic, and the diversity and the aesthetics is really nice versus like Trials HC, which is being this kind of bland warehouse and stuff. So I liked it. I liked it a lot.
So, since we're talking about both Trials and the 25th anniversary of the Game Boy,
Yeah.
I feel like this would be a good time to ask you. I guess first, if you've played Motocross Maniacs.
I am very familiar with Motocross Maniacs, but I've never played it. From what I understand, it is a classic, or at least
it is a classic. It is absolutely a classic.
I had a friend who was really into it, but like he let someone else borrow it, and the person he let borrow kind of ended up losing it. So I never got to play it, unfortunately, and I didn't get to buy it either because I don't know, didn't have the money or something. But yeah, then I just kind of forgot about it. But I had a friend who was really into it.
I'm on fire! I'm on fire! I'm on fire!
Roll 3 times. Stop, drop, and roll.
You probably shouldn't be on fire, Grandma. You know,
Or roll through the water once. That'll work too.
I'm not a Monster Hunter pro, but fire seems bad.
Fire bad.
Okay. But yeah, so I mean, we had a guy write about Motocross Maniacs a little while ago, and then I have the Japanese cartridge because I got it for a nickel.
Oh, okay. That works.
So when you talk about like the Game Boy and how it's underappreciated, that's how it's underappreciated. You know, NES cartridges have long been crazy expensive if the games are any good.
Yeah.
SNES cartridges are like at the peak now, I think. But man, Game Boy
I don't know.
games,
They were kind of $70 new, so.
Game Boy games have just like they have no value on the market, and they should because there's some really good games.
Okay. So, before I guess my first question is: I take it Motocross Maniacs isn't available digitally on the eShop or anything like that?
No. There was a sequel on the GBA, Motocross Maniacs Advance.
Was that any good?
I mean, it's Motocross Maniacs again. It's all right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Motocross Maniacs is on the 3DS eShop, but that will be where it would show up if it showed up anywhere.
Yeah, definitely.
Though I don't know. I mean, it's a cool game though, and it's kind of the predecessor to Trials, really.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I can get a Motocross Maniacs cart for $4 with free shipping from eBay.
we'll do that.
All right, I'm doing it. Thankfully, my girlfriend has a GBA SP and also a DS Lite, so I can play it on one of those at least.
Cool.
Or rather, a fat DS, regular DS.
The DS does not play Game Boy games.
It does not?
No,
it
it
only
plays Game Boy Advance and only Game Boy Advance.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Probably because I didn't have any.
You need an SP or a Game Boy.
Okay, well, I have an SP, so we're still covered. It's good. It's fine. But I didn't know that. Maybe because I didn't have any original Game Boys anymore, or Game Boy games anymore when I had a DS. But
yeah. On the other hand, if you had a Game Boy Player or a Super Game Boy,
I need to get a Game Boy Player.
Can a Game Boy Player do Game Boy games?
it can. Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, it double letterboxes them, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I will check this out, and I will get back to you guys on this.
I might show off Motocross Maniacs if we get around to maybe showing off the Retron 5 when it comes out.
Ooh, yes.
I'll show off some Game
actually-
Boy stuff.
Actually, I might pick one of those up when it comes out. I watched a video of it recently.
The price has gone up, which is
it's
great.
$130 now, right?
Something like that. I'm not sure what it ended up being. I have mine through this weird Kickstarter where they were putting homebrew games into a Super Famicom cart because one of the games supports 8 players and 2 multi-taps. So of course I did that.
Of course.
But yeah, so I've been waiting a while for it, but hopefully it'll be soon. Maybe by the time I stream next. Our next stream, I'm not sure what we're going to stream yet, but will probably not be Monster Hunter.
What? We're not going to change snack time to Monster Hunter time?
We could, but then...
If I could stream myself, I would do this every weekend.
Yeah. I'm not really helping.
I have a question for Ingersoll. Do you ever get mounts in this game?
No, as much as I would like to ride a Barrioth into battle, no.
Oh, how cool would that be?
Pretty cool.
But I'm still enjoying the game a lot. It seems like I'm assuming the progression of monsters generally gets bigger and more badass as the game goes on. Because this dragon, to me, is the coolest one you fought so far.
Yeah,
I don't
this
know if
is
it counts- I don't know if it
one of the
counts as a
flagship
dragon.
characters. This has been in every Monster Hunter. This is a Raytheon. There's 3 different versions of her in there, and there's a male version, the Rathalos, that has different attacks too. Like this one does more tail-oriented things, and the other
Right.
one likes to fly a lot more, which makes him really annoying. Also, this one's a lot more poisonous than the male.
So I bought it. I am now will be soon the proud owner of a Motocross Maniacs kart.
You will
Andrew,
be
I am
proud. It's
proud
pretty great.
of you.
You're proud of me, Henry?
Yes,
Oh wow, thank you.
Yeah.
I just am.
I'm proud of you for taking that leap.
Hey, I mean, you know what? I am now a huge fan of, or at least a new fan of Trials, so I might as well see where it originated, kind of. So,
Yeah.
hooray! So you still fighting this thing, huh?
Yep.
Oh yeah, this.
Yeah.
You want to talk about more cool Game Boy games until we finish?
Sure, we could. You know what? Hey,
Because I know a lot of them.
okay. Well, hey, name another one. We'll talk about it.
Pokemon trading card game.
You know what? I never played it.
So
Did
it
anyone
was
else
developed
play
by Hudson.
Yes.
Another one of those Hudson actually did everything you love moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was also a sequel, but it was Japan only and crazy rare and crazy expensive. Of course it is.
Yeah, got her tail.
Was that also Game Boy original?
It was it had
She is not
color
happy.
capability.
Yeah.
The second game I believe was Game Boy Color only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of the, I had a ton of Pokemon cards, but I never actually played the card game. I just collected them. So I was like, why do I want to get a game to play a card game that I don't actually play anyway?
So you
That was my my.
Well,
my,
with that attitude,
yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I was a bad person
who
apparently.
knows what you're gonna like.
Yep. It's a really good implementation of it.
Was it good at actually teaching you the card game too?
Oh yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
good.
whatever I knew it by that point, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I didn't. I was like, I had a couple of friends who played it, and I was just like, no, I'm just gonna buy these packs and put them in a binder, and then just look at them and be like, oh, that's cool, it's shiny.
Yeah,
that
you
was my
didn't
that was my
play it
Pokemon
right.
card game experience.
Okay, more cool Game Boy games.
It's running out of
More
time.
cool Game Boy games. You know what?
You ready?
Links. Do we talk? Okay. Oh.
Do you have
Go.
another one, Graham?
Henry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Operation C was a cool Contra Game Boy game.
Sure. Yeah.
It was really hard. I remember all Contra
ooh.
games being really hard, but as a kid, it probably wasn't as hard, but it was still difficult.
jeez.
I have one. It's
Do it.
actually coming out on the 3DS eShop soon, along with a bunch of other games in the same series. Mega Man 5 on the Game Boy
Okay.
was actually pretty cool. Like 1 through 4, they were just kind of lame versions of the NES games, but 5 was actually an original game with some of the same bosses, but some original bosses too, and some new levels and all that. And it was I liked it a lot. I had all of the Mega Man Game Boy games, and for whatever reason, I was never a huge fan of them, but I kept getting them anyway. Because I was really into Mega Man back then, so I was like, this will be the good one. And then finally, they did the good one, and that was number 5, so it paid off.
Yeah.
But that's coming out. I think that's that one along with 2, 3, and 4, and the 2.
Yeah, they're gonna do like Mega May next month. They're just gonna go
Yeah.
crazy with it.
Exactly.
I
So
believe
I never
I've seen that hashtag.
Yeah, I think those and the 2 Extreme 1 and 2 that were on the Game Boy Color games, I think, or they might have been original Game Boy. I don't remember. I actually never played those 2.
I believe those were cross compatible.
Yeah. So those will all be out. And I recommend, if you have a 3DS, you should check out 5 because it's actually good and different enough from the other ones. So there you go. That's my cool Game Boy game.
Sure.
Very cool.
Okay, my turn.
Your turn.
Mario's Picross.
Yeah.
It
This
was
is
the
a bad
first
time.
for
Yeah,
a
I
very
have a
long
book.
time to release in North America, and also once you beat the thing, it was a whole separate game that you also got. It's like once you completed all like whatever, like 160 puzzles, it's like, hey, you want another 160 puzzles?
Yeah.
Which I love Nintendo games for doing that stuff. You know?
I have a book of like 1,001 games you have to play before you die, and Mario Picross is in there. They just raved about it.
I mean, at this point, the best Picross game I think is Picross DS. The eShop stuff, the controls are like not completely the best. They're pretty close, but
Right.
That's good because the Picross DS is actually the only one in the series I've played. So
yeah.
I played
But,
Picross 3D, but that's not the same thing.
I've played.
yeah, that's not the same.
I've played all of the Picross games.
Yeah, I take it you're a
Oh,
fan.
man, you have.
I've imported some. Well, that's not true. There were 8 different volumes of the Nintendo Power download cartridge exclusive version for the Super Famicom, and I haven't played but one of those. So, but it's just Mario Super Picross over again with different puzzles, but still.
Hey, you killed the dragon thing.
We
Yeah.
did. I wanted to
Now
trap
you're-
it, and she ran away.
You're running through its body.
Yep, we
Literally.
use parts.
You.
We use every part of the noble Arethian.
I guess so.
All right, so that seems like a good fight to end on.
It is.
That was a crazy fight, guys.
You guys did really
Graham was
well.
on fire at some point, many times.
I
Wait,
was
you mean
too,
on
but you didn't
fire as
see
in
it.
he was doing well, or he was literally on fire?
Probably both.
Probably
You
both,
both, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you gonna stick with this, Graham?
I'll play more of it. You know, it's not exactly my speed. I've actually been playing recently some Ragnarok Odyssey,
Yes.
and that's a little more actiony, I think,
Yeah, definitely.
and a little less brutal. So I like
It's
those
definitely.
parts
It's
of
also
it, but-
more like pick up and play, just kind of jump in and
yeah. Plus, there's really dumb free crossover DLC for that stuff now. So
Oh yeah.
like I
What-
can
like-
dress up
like
like
what?
Tails characters and Grandia characters, and
Of course.
yeah. But anyway, all right.
Are you playing the original or the new one?
I have both.
Oh yeah.
I had the first one on the Vita and the second one on the PS3. So, but yeah. Anyway, all right.
This is the Monster Hunter online thing. It's at the end of Quest, people prance.
yeah.
Oh boy.
Quite a lot of prancing going on there.
All right. But okay, that wraps up this episode of Snack Time. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. For Henry, Andrew, and Chris, I'm Graham. See ya.
I'm waving too. You just can't see it.